So even if the government really wants to help, to give everything he wants to give, he's gonna need a lot of more money that he doesn't have to. So what happens is that in the government schools and high schools and all that, there is usually a lot of students in each group. There is usually few teachers from the main subjects like English and all that. There is not the use of too much technology either, because they don't have the possibility to be changing all the time computers and all that. So there is still a lot of things to do. I am not very good fan of our president, but I really think that he, during this year, he tried to do the best he could to improve the situation of the schools. But it's been a challenge, because you have to go against the teachers, against the directors of the schools, against all the system, and the technology changes so quickly as well, that even if you are rich, it's very hard to keep in pace with all the changes there is. That's the first. Even in university, you cannot have a free education as well. You have to give some exams and all that. But the other way, especially the middle classes families, they try to invest everything they got in education. So, for example, you pay the rent, maybe you have something to transport, food, and then there is the tuition of your child. So it's one of the main things for the middle class families, is to engage them in a good college, in a good school, in a private one where you have to pay. And there is this variety of prices. You can find between maybe $100 per month until $2,000 or $3,000 in these very fancy high schools. When they finish high school, you can see the big difference. We work with the students here, and you can see big differences, because the public student comes without almost no English, very bad spelling, very bad letters, I don't know, writing and all that. And you can see the difference between the ones that come from the private schools, where there is a little bit more attention, when there is few students, when there is a director behind everybody taking care of the education of the children. And when they get into university, you go and give an exam, and then you can see that, of course, if you come from a public school, it's very hard. There is always few students that are very good ones, and they are going to be well everywhere they are, but they are really few comparing with the quantity of people that finish high school. Then comes the university, it happens the same. You can go to the majority of people goes to the public university. They do as much as they can. There is a lot of desertion. For example, in a group, dropouts. For example, on the first year, there are 50 students in university for the first year, and they finish like 5 or 6.
Really?
Yes, after 5 or 6 years of studying university, just few of them finish. There is this awful the quantity of people that
finish.
They don't finish. First, they start to work. When they start to work, they already have the money. They cannot go on studying. Then there is sometimes the families here. They create very early on their 20s, 25. Because there is this feeling that if you are not going to get married until 30, that's it, it's over. So everybody tries to marry quickly. They already have families. The first thing that they do is leave university.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not exactly sure, but there is just 10% of the population, I think, that have finished the university. The rest of it, they just finish college. And there is the other trend, that is the paid universities where there is a good chance that they are going to have a good job. There is a good chance of going abroad every year to make some trips and work a little bit during the vacations. There is a good level of the teachers in these universities, but it is awfully expensive. So just a little quantity of people can afford that, especially the people that are from the big cities, because what you see in Quito or what you see in Guayaquil is very different of what the real Ecuador is. Because I'm sure you can go to a little province, maybe Esmeraldas or maybe Manabí, when there is a lot of infrastructure, but as well you are going to feel a little bit like maybe Jamaica or something. Yes, there is a big difference in Ecuador.
Talking about education is very difficult topic. It's very hard. But what I can tell you for sure is that there are three things that are intertwined, very connected. There is health, there is education, and I mentioned health, right? There's education, and there is also food. Nutrition.
Yes.
So the three things have to be connected. You cannot be a good student if you don't eat enough or you're not healthy. Right? And if you are not getting a good education, it's hard for you to get into a better job and maintain a good health during your life. So all those three things are very intertwined. When we began teaching here a couple of years ago, I was a mechanical engineer. So it was like a spur of the moment thing that we became like teachers. And then over time we realized that we need some skills. Then we enter university to study a postgraduate and get involved in what really teaching is about. And that's where I had a chance to read people like Jean Piaget, Paulo Freire, and so on, to know more about education. And that is very hard to keep education at the level that we need, because you might bring on the table very good plans, but these plans will be better if those who have to take those plans, in schools, just do what they have to do. Let's take the teachers. They are the leaders, right? I mean, now teachers and students are the leaders through education. But if the teacher is not ready, you can bring on table the best strategies, but it's simply not going to work. We have to keep on reading, we have to keep on educating ourselves, not because they ask you to do so. This has to be a behavior that comes out of you. Take a decision to educate yourself so that you can bring that to class. And that is a big problem. Now, what the government has done is to make the teachers understand that if a teacher can ask a student to take a test, we should also be ready to do so. There's been a lot of disagreement. Teachers didn't want to take the test, but in the end, it was the law, and they have to sit on the table and take a test every single year. And that is a good thing.
The
teachers have to take a test. That is okay, it's fine. We have to make sure, not because of what we think about ourselves, but we have to be very competitive. Not just in the country, but abroad. And that is what is now going on in the country. As she mentioned, many people might not like our president, but at least we have to recognize that he's done very good things in terms of education, even health. These are great things he has made. He has made a lot of change that help a lot of people. And getting education at the higher level is as I said, is a very long-term plan. Nobody sees it. You won't see in your child the changes, if not over 10 years' time, when he begins university. And that is true. I'm a teacher, I come to class, I don't want to discriminate. But there's something so obvious that you will explain something so simple in your mind to a student, to two separate students. One will understand it, grasp it, just
Yeah.
After the first explanation. And for the other one, you got to give him time, even sending homework until he begins to like understand, right? So there's a big difference. And when you investigate and you get to know the parents, so then you understand the connection between the child's situation of not being able to comprehend and the environment at home.
Yeah.
Now, it's very hard. So we might be like getting towards a better way to get our children educated, but it's going to be a long fight, and everybody has to get involved. That means there are parents like ourselves, well, have got to mention it, that are aware that getting my child educated will also depend on myself. That means I will send my child to school, and I will also pay for her some classes, dances classes. It's not because she's going to be a good dancer, right? I'm going to send her to music classes. I'm going to send her to do some sport. So different things that make your children grow like complete, so that she's able to like defend herself.
And have opportunities.
Exactly.
Overall,
Exactly.
many different opportunities.
Exactly. Yeah. And they have tools to fight in life. So those are the things that are very hard. You know, how can we get the parents to have a status, intellectually and financially, to be able to also take care of the child when he or she is not at school? That's a big challenge. And I think that a lot of things have changed.
What percentage approximately do you think, what percentage of high school graduates go to college in Ecuador?
Like everybody wants to go to college. Like maybe they try. Like 90% of the students that finish high school, they at least try to get into university. But the problem is
They don't finish.
they don't finish.
There are two problems here. As I understand. Sorry for interrupting you. There's one problem. Let's say you have a child. We are going to make it very clear. You have a child, and at the end we don't have the college. We have the university or pre-university. So we have the primary school. We have the high school, which you call also college here, and then you have university. But for some universities, you have pre-university. You can prepare yourself for 1 year and a half, I think. So after primary school, where basically all of them will graduate or will get some problem, but that can be resolved, they get into high school, and that is where the problems begin. Because in primary school, you still have a chance to get your child next to you, that means living in your house. And then when you get to high school, they take an exam, they call Senecity exam. And when you get the score, they will tell you, okay, you get this, you want to study, let's say, medicine, right? But you get this score, So what we do, you did well, you passed. And we are going to send you to Guayaquil for university. Or we send you, for example, to Cuenca. And that is hard for the parents. It is not only the matter of sending your child to Guayaquil. You will have to pay for the rent, you have to pay for everything, food and so on. So apart from your normal expenses at home, you will have to save extra money, look after your child. And what happened is that upon every 10 students, 6 would just stay for a next chance. They would not travel. So they will be out of studies for at least 1 year, doing something else. And that is a problem. Why is this happening? We all understand. Nobody talks about it, but we understand. It's because the government has tried to build some public universities to tackle this problem. That means giving the chance for all of those that finish high school to get into university. But in the big cities, the space is not enough to take in so many students from high school into university. So they have to spread all of them over the country. And that still is a big problem.
They're taking them away from home.
Exactly, that is a big problem that we are still facing, and we hope that in the nearest future we can get to have enough universities in big cities and small ones, so that the children can study where the parents really live.
But that's a process.
That's a process,
Everything is
exactly. That's a process. That's the
We are
process.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Is it also
Absolutely.
possible that part of the problem with sending your children away to school is that they aren't at home to help at home? And do a lot of children, they're not really children anymore, but when they're graduating high school, do a lot of them help out with their parents financially or not? Not so much.
Not so much, really. I think in the city, not so much.
Oh, okay.
The problem is when they already form families.
Ah.
That's the problem because
Before,
they already
before
yes.
being able to get an education or being able to get a career.
That is the problem.
There might be some cases where this, a child is looking after parents, but
But not so many.
it's very
Not so
few
many.
compared to the opposite.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, it's very few compared to the opposite.
Yeah.
Basically, here the parents feel like they want to give to the child what they hadn't had
For
when
themselves.
they were for
Yeah.
themselves when they were still
Yeah.
at their age.
Yeah.
But they try to at least, even though they feel the financial difficulties, to afford the education at least for their children
Yeah.
until they get graduated and get the job.
So now we have
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you finish
Yeah.
your trip? To finish.
Yeah, curious. Yeah, what's your plan after you finish,
the
your trip?
What do you
It's such a
want to
long
do?
trip.
This isn't maybe the answer that you'd like, but we're leaving it open, completely open, such that the learning that we experience on this trip guides us in our next steps in life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Janice, do you want to add?
No, I mean, I enjoyed my job enough that if I wanted to, I could go back and have a pretty good relationship with my my former company.
Your colleagues.
Yeah, my colleagues. So if I wanted to, I could go back. But I really want to make sure that this trip opens
What
up
does
our
your heart
eyes.
tell you?
I can't say right now. We're so early on the trip, and I
Yeah.
haven't found I guess a new passion.
I'm sure that every single company you left will be looking looking for you as soon as you get back to the States. You are such
Yeah.
nice people. And we feel so humbled, so lucky to have you with us.
Yes.
And
Oh,
hope
we've been humbled.
hope that you'll never let us down and you'll be writing to us.
Yes.
We're going to follow
Just like
you.
the first day.
Yes. Yes.
Keep in touch because we never know. We might,
Yeah.
travel soon over there to the States.
Yes.
Yeah,
why
yes,
not?
yes.
We've got family now. You've got family
Yes.
too. We really, our family's grown by
Yeah,
by
okay.
3.
Thank
And
you.
4 if we include Salaf, even though we
Thank
haven't met
you.
your son. But
Thank
yes,
you. Thank you so
we
much.
definitely want to keep in
Thank you
touch.
so much for all the lessons that you led us, not just us, to NASC and all that. We really think we've been blessed.
We too, that's true.
to know you
Yeah, well,
during
thank
this
you.
month.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.